This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Sunday morning. With us today is Jesse Arm, and he is the vice president of the Manhattan Institute, and he's concerned about what's going on in New York City. And Jesse, tell us, this has been a tough week.
Well, John, it's been a pretty interesting week, and it's good to be with you to talk about it a little bit. We had elections this week in New York City, Democratic primary elections, to be specific, which in most congressional districts is akin to a general election because he who wins the Democratic primary moves on to Congress. And we have three characters who won their races this week who are aligned with the Democratic Socialists of America, the far left flank of American politics. They're not even really a part of the Democratic Party, but they are seeking to co-opt and take control of the Democratic Party, and it looks like they are succeeding. Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, endorsed all three of these candidates, a number of whom picked off incumbents. Brad Lander, you may remember his name from the mayoral election, defeated Congressman Goldman, who is by no means a moderate Dem. He was one of the leaders of the Trump impeachment proceedings a few years ago. Daria Liza Chevalier won against the incumbent Adriano Espaillat up in a district that includes Columbia University and Harlem. She is a true hardened radical. She is someone who has said she is a communist, who has described herself as someone who supports abolishing the police, prisons, the border, and even Western civilization itself. If you take the word of the organization she helped start at Columbia called QAD. And then over in the what some call the Commie Corridor, that Brooklyn area, we had another woman who on her way to Congress from the Democratic Socialists of America. Her name is Claire Valdez, and what's interesting about that race is she actually defeated Reynoso, who was a candidate with the backing and support of many unions and the Working Families Party in New York. Espaillat, who was defeated up in the Harlem area, was the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. So even within intra-far left battles, the DSA, which is the most radical element of all radical elements, is proving that they are the top dogs.
Well, so it seems like you said, the people that get nominated in the Democratic primary are usually become the congressperson. I know there's a lot of people concerned. Is there concern? You have the pulse of the Democratic Party. Is there concern from the entire Democratic Party that this is a movement that they have to stop, or what's going on?
I think so. I mean, look, New York, it's easy to write it off and say, oh, they just elected that super far left mayor over there. It's one of the bluest places in the country. This isn't coming for me. This isn't going to be in my backyard. But I've got news. The leadership of the Democratic Party comes from New York. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, this is their backyard. The only reason Hakeem Jeffries, who's in line to be the next Speaker of the House if the Democrats take control and the first black Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, would have probably lost his primary if he had faced the Democratic Socialist America challenger, if we're being honest, this cycle. So this is where Democratic trends are made, and what happens in our backyard here affects what happens in the other parts of the country. So to any moderate Democrats or sensible Democrats or, heck, even liberal or Democrats who stop short of self-IDing as communists or socialists, this should be a wake-up call. It's not enough to, throw Andrew Cuomo on the ballot line and say he's got high name ID and everybody knows who he is, so therefore he will win. The DSA has out-organized and out-hustled most of the traditional players in Democratic politics. They are radical. They are hostile to the American project in and of itself, but something they are good at is politics. They're organized and they're knocking on doors.
And they have
donors who stop short
and they've
of that
learned,
far left end want to.
and Jesse, they've learned how to outmaneuver the rest of us.
Absolutely. That's the key point, John. That was the last point I was getting to. If Democratic donors, moderate donors, even conservative donors care about these deep blue places, they've got to organize a counter infrastructure that can run against the DSA and go knock those doors.
I agree. Well, Jesse Arms.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jesse Arms, keep your eyes open, and our obligation, mine and yours, is to keep the American people informed with the truth, and let's do that as much as we can. And thank you for what you do, and thank you for being on this Sunday morning. And next week is 4th of July weekend. Well, let's make sure it's a 4th of July nobody forgets.
250. I'm excited for it.
Thank
John.
you so much.